let's check in with our friends in Riyadh. I have noticed that they are not pumping the brakes on the Shilling. And so what we're going to do is, this is going to be just a sort of collection of crazy things that I noticed, all relating to pushing the great Saudi Arabian esports agenda. And so I'm going to start with a fun one. Well, maybe not fun. You decide. Faker was in the news recently, wasn't he? Because somebody recorded a video of him headbutting a wall after a particularly poor performance in a lost game. And everybody lost their minds over it, making it onto the internet, and it was the thing everyone was talking about for a weekend. I'm a lazy piece of shit, so I didn't stream, therefore I don't have a video about that. But just to give you the long and the short of it was, what happened was, person posted video got noticed, video went on to subreddit deleted video, influencers posted video, T1 fans harassed influencers demanding they take it down, because it's disrespecting a legend of the game. And how would you feel if somebody took a video footage of you headbutting a wall? This then melted away once the T1 fans realised they weren't going to be able to stop discussion around this. This then melted away into serious, somber talks about, well, mental health, it's a big deal in esports. And think about the pressure somebody like Faker's under and all of the... So that happened. Now, as I said, I didn't do a video about it, but I'm referencing it because I wonder if he might have done some damage, with, like, long term, which we might need to monitor. You see, T1 did this piece of content where they said, oh, here are players and who they would famously like to have a meal with. And I'm sure you've seen that concept, right? You go, oh, who would you like to have dinner with? You know, if you could have dinner with anybody, you know, at any point of history or anyone alive right now, if you could have like 3 people round for a dinner party, who would you pick? You know, and we've all done it, right? We've all done that exercise. And you know, I mean, listen, who would I pick? I guess if it was alive right now, I'd probably pick Milo Yiannopoulos, Nick Fuentes, and Kanye West. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's a nightmare, but that really did happen for someone. Yeah, it would be Hooksy, Kassad, and Loba together. That would just be the best dinner of all time. Anyway, so T1 put this content out, and they put this content out, and I was like, well, okay, let's check in and see what the players, see what they say, because you know, it's always interesting to get like player perspectives on this kind of thing. So there it is. This is talking about the people they want to have a meal with, and obviously they posted it in Korean and English. And here it is for us all to see. And okay, well, Zeus, a lot of this is okay. You know, Sun, you know, from Sun Heung-min from Tottenham, and Post Malone. That's cool. You know, Stephen Curry. Okay, all right, okay. Park Bo Young, yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, nice. So strong uptake for Sun. What does Faker say? Mohammed. See, this name's familiar. Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. All right, okay. Well, now, far be it from me to suggest this cannot be. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't happy to have this attributed to him, but it does seem a bit strange to me that just at the same time that Riot Games start doing business with the Saudi Arabian state, and they have the Esports World Cup, and they allow their game to be used, they're in, like, League of Legends, and Faker, I don't know if you know this, many consider him the GOAT, you know, the greatest of League of Legends, iconic. And the idea, oh wow, imagine we're going to see him in Riyadh, and it's going to open up new fans from across the globe. We're going to have this opportunity to see a washed Faker play. It's like such a big deal. It's like, you know, Ronaldo going out there. And yet it just so happens that incredibly, with all of that going on in the background, Faker legitimately, 100%, definitely, absolutely wants to have a meal with Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. The joke being, by the way, that all of the other celebrities on the list, it would actually be difficult to have dinner with him, but Faker, being an esports legend, would actually now probably be able to have a dinner with Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. In fact, I would wager he absolutely probably has. Maybe he did. Maybe it's happened. I mean, why wouldn't it? Mark Merrill's had dinner with him probably. You know what I mean? So, like, why the fuck would Faker could absolutely totally have that? So, we are really approaching levels of shilling that I cannot believe, because if I was like T1, I would and let's say Faker really said this and really wanted this, I would be like, could you not? Like, can you just pick someone else? Because, you know, people are going to say that you're shilling and we're all doing business and T1's in the Esports World Cup Club Pro. It's just going to look weird. And I know you're Faker, but come on, you didn't shake. You can see it, right? So just say somebody else. Anyone, but not him. But no, didn't say that. Mysteriously, the GOAT player of all time playing for an organisation that happens to be taking money from the same Saudi Arabian state that Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud is in charge of, happens to be someone that genuinely wants to have a meal with the celebrity Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. I mean, by the way, if you said celebrity to me, if you said, Richard, name 3 celebrities, I wouldn't name fucking members of state. I wouldn't say like members of royal families from across the world. They're not celebrities. That's something else, isn't it? Like, you know, a celebrity is like Kerry Katona. Obviously didn't say Katie Price because of what happened on Twitter this week involving her. Please don't search for it. But anyway, that's a celebrity. That's what I think of when I think of a celebrity. So anyway, I thought this was pretty embarrassing. Some of the worst shilling I've seen, and coming from a very sad. It was like sad source. But okay, well, you know, look, can it get worse? Well, you will remember, of course, when I did that last video, which isn't even out yet, but it's up there and it's been officially demonetized now, so I may as well put it out tomorrow. The other video where I was doing a Saudi roundup, you'll remember I was talking about there was going to be this big conference at the end of the Esports World Cup and the end of the Esports Awards, right? And they were going to do this, we're going to have all of these people talk and it's going to be about the future of the fandom of esports. And everyone in it was like just some fucking weirdo executive from like a company that's only been in esports for 5 fucking minutes. You know, you've got some guy from Sony's marketing division. I like esports, me. It's like, why are they dictating the future? They don't even know they've played no part in the fucking past. That's not how that works. But anyway, they did read the room, I'm guessing. And now all of the shills, all of the loser esports owners who just take the fucking money and turn the other way after sermonizing for 8 fucking years about how fucking great they are and how they love the gays and love the women, right? They're all out there now proselytizing about how they drive now, and they've added some numbers. They've added some numbers to the list of people that are going to be talking there endemic. And by the way, love this over at the Esports Advocate. What a fucking picture. It's just so... that is fucking delicious. I love that. The Esports World Cup Foundation announced the speaker lineup for the 2nd annual new Global Sport Conference taking place at the Four Seasons Hotel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, August 24th to 25th. That, as you will know, is now. According to the reveal, around 48 professionals from the world of esports, gaming, sports entertainment, and finance, because those things are all the same, so why not, will take part in the 2-day event, which will also coincide with the Esports Awards, who earlier this year signed a 3-year deal to host the ceremony in Riyadh for some reason. I'm going to go over the winners tomorrow, because I think they've been announcing the winners while I've been live, and I can't help but notice a lot of the winners are people that shilled for Saudi. I can't help but notice. I'm sure it's a coincidence. We will go over all of those coincidences in tomorrow's stream. Anyway, The conference features some notable companies, organizations in the esports space, including the Story Mob, the Esports World Cup Foundation, ESL Faceit Group, Savvy Games Group, Fnatic, T1, Gen G Esports, Team Liquid, Axiomatic Gaming, Saudi Esports Federation, and more. And if we scroll down, okay, look at the names they've added, guys. So let's go over some of these names, particularly from esports. By the way, I just love this. I love this. I love that we're doing this. We're doing this. From the world of esports, His Royal Highness Prince Faisal bin Bandar bin Sultan Al Saud. Oh yeah, I remember him. I remember his gamer handle. Yeah, I remember him. Didn't he used to play for Zboard in 2005? I remember him. Just endemic to fucking esports, mate. Journo Slayer. Journo Slayer 42. You all remember him? Fucking hell, are we serious right now? He's endemic from esports. He's in the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Like, what are we doing? Why are we pretending? Anyway, Ralph Rijkaard, obviously, there. Then we had two people from the Esports World Cup Foundation. The Chief Product Officer and the Chief Games Officer, Faisal Mohammed bin Homran and Fabian Scheuermann, who we've talked about before on the channel. We have Craig I always say Levine. I'm sure it's Levine. I don't know why. That name's always been Levine in my brain, but I'm sure it's Levine. Craig Levine, the Torble to his friends. He's there. Carmack's rocked up, hasn't he? There he is, Michal. He's rocked up. He's there now. Sam Matthews, the club CEO of Fnatic, the guy who literally in my DMs was telling me they drive now. He actually did. They fucking drive now to me, to my face, telling me it was really low of me to go after sponsors, point out that, you know, your logo's going to be on a jersey in an authoritarian country. Literally messaged me to say they drive now, and I was like, they do drive now? They do drive now, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. I'll also just add the idea that Sam Matthews... Oh, I did it again! Fucking arseholes. Why have you put that in my brain? It's like, surely once a stream is fine. Been talking for 3 fucking hours. Look, there's a difference between me saying it once a fucking stream, right, and Joe Biden starting every single sentence in a debate with it. You sicken me. The notion that Sam Matthews gets to stand up and talk to anyone about the future of esports. Has anyone paid any attention to what's going on at fucking Fnatic? Has anyone paid any attention to what is going on at Fnatic? To how badly that org has been run? How badly it has fucking failed across the board in almost every single esport. Like, not just like fucking financially neither. It's just fucking trash. It's just been run into the ground. And this is the guy pulling the fucking strings on that, and you're going to stand up in a room full of your fucking peers and contemporaries, and in some cases actually successful business people, and you're going to talk about the future of esports. Mate, you're a fucking relic of the past. You've got nothing to say. You belong in a fucking museum. What are you talking about? Joe Marsh there from T1. I'm sure he's going to walk on stage holding up the fucking placard of Faker, talking about his 3 for dinner. Steve Arhenset, a man who publicly came out for Saudi. Cool, I guess. Arnold Herr from Gen G. Bruce Stein from Axiomatic. Axiomatic being the parent company from Liquid. And Steffi Bao from Init Esports. Not even going to lay claim to have any insight into who that might be. So there we go. We've really fucking fleshed it out. It's just so fucking embarrassing to be doing this. But they are in another world right now. I mean, like, these guys are like... I remember when we started doing TV. And I remember I had a bunch of meetings with E-League back in the day. And then later, by the way, in Vegas, when Vegas money was potentially getting tossed in to the ring. And I recall distinctly all of these fucking people, so smug, coming to these events, hanging out with fucking, you know, TV stars and TV producers and network vice presidents, and thinking they were there, like thinking they'd made it. They were there, like they were of equal footing, and they got to express their opinion. I remember people arguing with E-League executives in one of the first concept meetings for E-League about how, like, well, make sure you do it like this and make sure you do it like that. It's like, guys, you're lucky to be here. You're a fucking bum. Well, now they're doing it, but on an even bigger scale. They are so fucking far gone in terms of where they're operating right now, because they're getting the royal treatment because Saudi are using them as the useful idiots they are, and will come to realize they were in about 5 years. It's embarrassing. And then you go down, they've added some names here. We got someone from Bungie's there. The CEO of Tetris is there, guys. We're fucking esports now. Over in sports, We've got someone from Live Golf. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wonder why. Having a great time. Someone from Fox. Why not? Down in the creatives, we have the Story Mob, which is the esports PR division. The people that essentially foisted Nicola Point Jameson on everyone as the new esports genius, the Warren Buffett of esports. Sometimes it hurts my feelings. Why, OJ? I mean, listen, I'll say this. No matter what OJ does with Saudi Arabia, he can only ever be the second worst OJ. So he's got that. He's got that going for him. I love you, man. Then, remember how Magnus Carlsen was there? And we were all trying to figure out what Magnus Carlsen was doing? Well, somebody was handing out a bag of money, an opportunity, because these people aren't being paid to be here. We'll get to how funny that is, that the pointing that out. Yes, you're not being paid a fee to speak at this event where you are going to further your business and being given the royal red carpet treatment literally with the royal family of that country. Yes, correct. You aren't being paid an actual fee, yes. Fucking fallen. Haven't you stole enough checks, mate? Like, at this point, I mean, come on. Brother, please. Like, come on, man. Holy fucking shit. When's it gonna be enough, bro? Got your own fucking hardware line, taking that fucking cut from that fucking game platform pugging fucking center. Got the fucking absolute bag with Furia for a contract you absolutely could never deliver upon. Sticker money. All that investment that got leaked on Skype. Fuck, come on, man. And then, I was worried about this. I was like, he hasn't, has he? But no, he hasn't, don't worry. Jens Hilger's there, of course. Bitcraft, in many ways, one of the progenitors of all of this. So they're all going to be doing it. They're all there, all singing for the supper. Fucking embarrassing. These are the luminaries of the industry. This is what it is now. These are the thought leaders. These are the people that are driving us to this fucking inevitable ruin. These are the people that are agreeing to all of these outrageous, outlandish terms that, if you want an office out here, you got to start employing Saudi Arabian citizens to work in the company. Otherwise, we're going to take your money away, take your bag away. And by the way, that's what we're demanding on day fucking one. Let's see what we're demanding by year fucking 3 when you are locked into this financially, by definition, unsustainable business that you are building with the Saudi Arabian state. But that's it. They're all there. So not a surprise. But I do have to say, I do keep an eye on Reddit, as you might have noticed, from my content. And this announcement made it onto the Team Liquid subreddit. And as a result, there was some discussion around it. Not much. It only got 8 updates, 8 negative updates, 66%. It wasn't deemed important enough to discuss, but that didn't stop Steve Arnset coming in and explaining his very important position on this nuanced world that he's operating in now. And I'll read it to you. He says, I will be attending and speaking on a panel about diversity, inclusion, and social responsibility in gaming and in Riyadh. I want to just pause there. That, unironically, is what the panel he's speaking on is called. An event in Riyadh, hosted and funded by the Saudi Arabian state. Diversity, inclusion, and social responsibility in gaming. I think if we were showing social responsibility in gaming, the Saudi Arabian state wouldn't have just fucking bought it and took over it, right? If social responsibility was a real thing. Anyway, there are some influential folks joining me on the panel as well. For us, we have a clear position that speaking about and working on LGBTQ plus related topics is the best that we can do in this environment. In my opinion, to advance on these topics, you have to be a present. They're doing this thing still. You have to be a present voice and be part of the conversation. As another recent example, we are proud to be the first sports team to carry the Pride flag in Saudi Arabia as part of our global Pride campaign, something that has not been done before, as can be seen from the many human rights reports out there. Now, in case you missed it, they did release a special jersey for Pride, because Liquid were the only org out of all of these orgs that did anything, Pride tweets, anything. I think Fnatic might have done something on Facebook, but it was just they drive now. And what they did is they created a jersey that had a Pride logo theme embroidered on it. And they said, we're going to wear it at the tournament. And I was skeptical. And I tried to get clarification and confirmation as to whether or not it happened. But get this, I couldn't find anyone posting about it anywhere. I couldn't find any close-up on a stream. I couldn't see it clearly in any footage that I went over, right? And not that I went over much of it, because I didn't watch it live. But I looked, and I asked around, and I asked journalists. I tried to find stories, because it's a big deal, right? And Liquid want it to be a big deal. Why hasn't it been published anywhere? Why aren't the stories like Team Liquid make history? Team Liquid abolish homophobia in Saudi Arabia with brave stance. Where was it? Because you jump at that shit. So much so, you created your own fucking PR division, essentially. That's what the story mob is. To fucking push all you fucking dirtbags as being thought leaders and incredibly talented people. So why isn't it out there? I couldn't find it. So I don't know. I mean, look, it's one of those things. If a tree falls down and no one's there, does it make a fucking sound? Well, look, the answer's yes, it does. But the point being, well done. You did this thing that you then have only acknowledged quietly with the lights out under the duvet. Well, what's the fucking point then? RE the panel, I will be able to speak to my experience in gaming as a gay man. Now remember, it was only recently Jacob Wolf, back when he was a journalist in esports, he put a tweet out connecting to an article where he explicitly said, this is like 2023, he said Steve Arnset is gay, and everyone was like, oh, fuck it, because we all knew, obviously, we knew, like, it's not like it's a secret privately, it was just never anything that was publicly out there, and he had to then delete that and sort of privately apologize. This is why I think it's really... Like, I'm not trying to even get into the weeds with that shit, but, like, I've always been fucking open about being bi. Like, I just fucking, it's not anything I need to beat the fucking drum about. I don't play the cards. I've fucking got some issues with the way the fucking American Rainbow Mafia's gone. I've got my own opinions on that, but at the end of the day, I think it's important that people realize it's just okay to talk about that shit. You don't have to fucking bottle that shit up and fucking live a life that you don't want to live. I even saw an incredible comment on YouTube where someone said, this guy is a G. This was a reply on one of my videos. This guy is a G. Love him or hate him, he has made a living off talking about games, which he likes, and you have to respect that. Even though he is a bi and against my morals, he is a G. That's what the comment said. So there you go. I am a G. The G stands for Globo Homo. So anyway, there's something kind of... there's just something distasteful in my opinion that everybody was like attacking Jacob for this. And then here we are less than a year later and now we're out for Saudi. We're all out for Saudi. So whatever. Anyway, RE the panel, I will be able to speak to my experience in gaming as a gay man and have the hope that this can reach a part of the audience whose minds are being open to this kind of perspective, perhaps for the first time. Where this experience takes all of those in attendance next is something we are hopeful about, and this is what incremental change looks like for us. One of the other reasons I agreed to join this panel is because of the individuals that I'd be sharing the stage with. Maha Abu-Laneen is an esteemed global communications expert with game experience in the US and the Middle East. Dr. Heba Attia is a founder of a games company called Games IT that designs games to improve cognitive skills in students. Ghada Al-Hudayti founded her own games company in Saudi Arabia. The opportunity to share the stage with these pioneering women and to learn about their POV and share in their experiences is something I'm genuinely looking forward to. A panel highlighting a few success stories does not change history. I know that. And it does not change the truth in the present. I won't pretend that this is somehow more significant than it is, but I'll always believe that amplifying underrepresented voices is what change looks like, to my earlier post on Twitter from months ago. We think this is doing a small bit of good, and at least as much as we can do in this situation. And I'm absolutely sure you'd be doing this if you weren't making millions from doing it. And they are, which we'll get to in a moment. It seems ridiculous. As I said, if you're somebody that would criticize Republicans, and this isn't to say Republicans should be above criticism. You know my political views. It doesn't align with that of the Republican Party. But if you are going to criticize Republicans and make out there's some great evil that needs to be defeated, and then immediately get onto a fucking private jet, fly to fucking Riyadh, and carry water for a fucking state that violates human rights to a degree Republicans fucking have wet dreams about, then you, my friend, are a fucking joke. You are a joke. You are a clown. I never want to hear you talk about politics again, but you will. And saying, this is what small incremental change looks like. And even though we might not get there overnight, we're going to get there in the future. I don't know if there is a future where Saudi Arabia suddenly conforms with American liberal ideals. I think it's a very complicated entanglement it has with tradition, Sharia law. There's a lot to fucking unstitch. So good luck with it. But you just tell yourself whatever you have to fucking tell yourself, because at the end of the day, this means you get paid conveniently. Somebody points this out. About being gay is a crime under Sharia law. There's the legal framework in Saudi. People downvoted this, by the way, on the legal. So on the Liquid subreddit, him shilling for Saudi updoots. This guy pointing out that homosexuality is a crime in Saudi Arabia downdoots. Anyway, Steve replies to that, and he says, "Look, we'll figure out if you're right in due time." Because he said, you are being used for the money. You are paid for this trip, not the other way around. I don't believe you are that naive. I want to believe you are a skilled businessman who's doing what is in the best interest for your company's capital and position in the space. And he said, look, we'll figure out if you're right in due time. Meaning, to your argument, no matter what I or Team Liquid does, nothing is going to change. There's truth in what you're saying. There's also truth in what I'm saying. But I've decided that being part of the change happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, show up with a voice and see where it goes. Not just for this panel or with the Pride jerseys, but for the instances to come. Gaming has proven to make conversations like this possible. I'm going to do something with that. Ari, your question on being paid. The Esports World Cup is covering my travel to the event for the final week. Right now we are in the third, but I'm not being paid to be on the panel. All right, okay, well, not being paid to be on the panel. So certainly no financial incentive to carry water for the Saudi Arabian state that you are actually in cahoots with across the board via the mechanism of the Esports World Cup, and probably soon to be the Qadiyah incentive as well. It's so disingenuous, the framing. And he knows it's disingenuous. He knows all of this stuff he's doing is disingenuous, talking about incremental change. Where's the incremental change? Yeah, they drive now, but they're still locking up women's rights activists. In fact, the women that hard fought for the right for women to drive, the women that led that movement, are in prison right now. They're languishing in a jail, probably not far from the stage you're going to be stood on. And here you are talking and sermonizing about how great it is to be being stood alongside these visionary women. You will notice they have something in common, that they work, they've gone abroad, that big companies have spread and are now international. And obviously, if anything were to happen to them, if they were to say anything controversial, which, by the way, you will notice they're not real critical of the Saudi Arabian state for all the things they've achieved in business, they would probably similarly be punished. So that was Steve responding to that. As I said, Liquid have been the most shameless in all of this and the most embarrassing in terms of all of the partners. But I've talked a lot about the useful idiots in general. And so, do you recall when I told you about the program that they have if you go and join the Esports World Cup? Previously, Gamers 8, they did this. I exposed it. It was on my Substack. They do this thing where, but if you get the most engagement, as in, if you spread the most useful idiocy to serve the needs of the Saudi Arabian state, they give you millions and millions of dollars. The person that spreads the most tweets gets $7 million. Not just tweets, obviously Insta, Facebook, all of that stuff. And it's all tracked using a hashtag, which I know because Team Liquid used that tracking hashtag to earn money in the apology they gave for attending when they gave $50,000 to charity, having earned millions for attending. And I said, there's only one winner of that award, right? And who was it, guys? Who did I say was going to win that award? I'll give you a clue. They featured quite heavily in my content recently as an org. There we go. Absolutely Terabad. Straight in, boom. Absolutely Hyderabad. Falcons, of course. Falcons. Falcons are not a very good org in general. They've got money. They've got money from those investors that we aren't able to talk about and certainly aren't able to list and certainly aren't able to commit to on paperwork because they want to be private, so it's all okay. So Falcons just get to attend all of the tournaments they want. We don't have to think about any of the entanglement aspects of it. But they're not very well run. Almost as if, I don't know, MS-DOSery was some sort of puppet and shell, but whatever. They're not very well run. Their orgs, as an org, they failed in a lot of areas. Not in all areas. They have had, obviously, very successful in Dota, right? The CS team's been a bit of a disaster. They've been fucked up in some other games as well. But when you put them alongside all of the other elite orgs of the world, which is what the Esports World Cup was meant to be, they're maybe not going to do so well. And so they had to win. They had to get something out of it. And I said, I will predict that Falcons are going to win that social media purse. And it happened. And this was Ralph Reikart's tweet about it. The Esports World Cup tweet was, they've done it, 7 million in the bag. No matter what happens next, Falcons Esport have secured the first place in the Esports World Cup 2024 Club Championship. So there you go, they've done it. Excellent. They've done all the social media, all the results. They're the best org there, right? What a ride. Local pride, history made. And so we know that by MS-DOSery's own words on an HLTV podcast, we know that the Saudi Arabian state definitely funds some of their org. And we know that the Saudi Arabian state owns a company that sponsors their org. We know that. He said that. It's provably true. It's demonstrably true. But he said that. He wouldn't say how much. He said, no individual owns more than 5%. Or what if all the royal family owns all of the 5% up to 100%? Then it's a totally state-owned entity, isn't it? Just because it's spread across different individuals. But he wouldn't elaborate. And he says they want to remain private. My gut tells me Falcons just is an extension of this project. They are the local esports org funded by state money. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong with transparency. You won't. And so I knew they had to get something out of this because this is another thing that happens in that region. Money goes from one hand into the other hand. And it's like, those arms are on the same body, bro. But that's how they do things. And so I knew that Falcons had to get a big chunk of the pie out of this. It had to be that way. And so, look, what a ride. Local pride history. What fucking... Right, first of all, we are stretching local fucking breaking point here in a lot of ways. I mean, it's not like they do have Saudi Arabian players in other games. They even picked some up, I believe, specifically for this tournament. But certainly they have international lineups in what I would consider the tier 1 esports, like Counter-Strike and Dota. So we're really stretching the word local a fucking breaking point here, quite incredibly. But also history. What history? What history has been made? You've just got a big bag of money from people that would just give you a big bag of money anyway if you asked. What history has been made? What history? There is no history with the Esports World Cup. In fact, you bought a historic brand that did have history just so people wouldn't get confused because you wanted to call your brand the Esports World Cup, and there was already the Esports World Cup, ESWC, but you wanted it to be called EWC, so you bought that just to keep it clean because you got more fucking money than sense. No one's counting anything right now at this moment in time, and so you buried history to build this. You actively destroyed history. You bulldozed a fucking museum to put up a fucking McDonald's and talked about how historic it was that a McDonald's got fucking built. So what a ride. Local pride. History made. None of that's true. I've said this as well. And we'll get to it right at the end of the stream. There's this weird thing with the numbers around any of the content relating to any of this Riyadh bullshit. Apparently, it's the most popular shit ever. I can't find anyone talking about it anywhere. Yes, I saw some links on Reddit to matches when they were being played. I didn't see any social media buzz whatsoever in anywhere except LinkedIn. Even streamers that were being paid to co-stream the Esports World Cup deleted, in some cases, the footage of them co-streaming after the fact. It didn't put it on their YouTube channels. I said from the start, this entire project is, well, for the Saudi benefits of the Saudi Arabian state, but it's also for all the LinkedIn wankers. It's finally their fucking moment in the sun. They've been grifting on LinkedIn for fucking 8 years. Well, I've been in esports for approximately 20 years because I had a Nintendo when I was 10. Like, fuck off. Like, what are you talking about? There's a LinkedIn post, by the way. I'll have to find a way to shoehorn it into a stream. But I remember there was this fucking LinkedIn post from an absolute wanker, and it was called "How I Accidentally Invented Esports." The guy on LinkedIn was claiming to have invented esports in like 2014 or something. like it was fucking the shit you read over there, man. It's why I don't post over there. So there you go. You got your money. History made. Then there was this. She's not unprotected anymore, so that's good. Sorry, not protected anymore. She sent the tweets protected because I tweeted this out. This is just a totally normal thing to tweet, guys. This certainly isn't something that was asked for, requested, intimated. This is just a normal thing to tweet because I'm going to a normal esports event. I tweet. I don't know about you. When I land an esports event, right, one of the first thing I say publicly is, hey, just landed in wherever the esport is, let's say, just landed in Jönköping for DreamHack. Got to say, it's incredibly safe here. I've never felt safer. Never... Right, here we go. Get a load of this. So this is Lily Chanter, producer for the Esports Award. Also got ties to golf. Interesting. Now another totally Saudi-owned entity. Landed in Riyadh for the Esports Awards. And this is the most I've ever felt safe as a woman. It was great to walk around the Esports World Cup and see so many people embrace love for gaming here. Can't wait for the show. I just want you to know they are treating me well, and I hope to be home by Christmas. This is what they're buying, by the way. It's shit like this that the Saudi Arabian state are buying when they give you the gigantic bag of money. This is what they're paying for. Normalize our regime to the world. Normalize it. Tell everyone it's fine. It's safe for visitors. Is it safe for the locals? Are women allowed to go out dressed like you would typically dress without reprisals in Saudi Arabia? Yes or no? There's one answer. And so I had some dumb replies to my tweet about this. We had this guy, because again, everyone loves to shill for where the money is. This guy, Trevor Tabaran, who apparently is a chief operating officer at a video games publishing company and a dad and a car enthusiast. I mean, you just sound like the most generic wanker. You're probably a bot account. Like, I can't even fucking deal with that. I work out of Riyadh. I've been there 5 times in the last year. Not doing a lot of work then. To be honest, I feel very safe there. I work with some of the nicest people. Y'all are gaslighting. Definitely not a state-controlled bot account there. I had this reply, and try and stay with me here, it's the first time in that world she has felt safe. So the premise of this loser's tweet is it's the first time she's ever felt safe going out publicly, ever in her life, and has decided she absolutely must tweet about it. It just so happens it's Riyadh, and it just so happens she works for the Saudi Arabian state. Don't think too much about it. It's the first time in the world she has felt safe, and it was important to her to talk about it. What are you doing again? Oh yeah, reinforcing that world she was actually shedding light on. Well done, dipshit. Well done. I don't even know what he was going for here. Like, yeah, I'll go down to my fucking dungeon where I keep the women that were protesting for women's rights, because that's me, obviously, isn't it? Yeah, I'm the bad guy. Definitely not a weirdo when it came to his views on women. You can see there. No, this was a reply to someone. No, she's not your slut. She's your bitch. See, a slut will fuck anybody. A bitch will fuck everyone but you. Most don't pay for pegging. But hey, you like it deep and discounted, so you do you, boo. This isn't the mom fucking you thought it'd be. A buckle up, buttercup. No lube. So that's a normal person on the fucking internet, by the way, talking about how important it is for women to feel safe. And that, by the way, has all of the hallmarks of a fucking sex offender. So not a problem, though. Don't worry about it. It's like, not saying you are, but that's how they talk. Probably. Not that I'd know. Well, yeah. Twitch has taught me a thing or two down the years. So, yes, people were negatively reacting to that. She went protected. She did get lit up by quite a lot of people in the esports space, which I think is fair enough, because that is exactly the type of tweet that the Saudi Arabian state are paying for. And you can see my man James Fudge said, so did she, until she was arrested, and obviously links to the Amnesty International story that we've told you about multiple times on this channel, which is for Manahel Al-Otaibi, who got 11 years because she didn't want to wear an abaya in public. But they're making progress, guys. They drive now. Then we had an absolute banger. The most predictable of all of the things to ever happen was this. Remember, I told you, and I don't miss on this stuff. Do you remember when they announced Rolling Stone was also being acquired by this, funded by the Saudi Games Group, and it was now part of the empire of the Saudi Arabian takeover? And I said, obviously, all that's going to appear in that publication is just fawning wankery over ESL, Saudi Games Group, Intel Extreme Masters, any of their products, any of their properties. And they're probably going to have to go back, because Rolling Stone, you can look this up, they published some less than favourable articles about the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, yes. I wonder if they've been deleted yet. Don't worry, they've been archived. More on that at a later date. But that was the whole point of the Rolling Stone acquisition. It was a way to buy a name, a brand that normies recognise as having value and being credible, even though after that fucking rape hoax story that they published about that university that they had to settle money for, they should have been out of business. They should have been shut down. We need a press regulation authority. But anyway, that is what their purpose is now. They are there to propagandize the takeover of esports, and they've already done it. We read some of the embarrassing articles on this stream, but they did it again, and they will keep doing it, guys, and it's cringe. It is fucking beyond a joke how transparent it is. And so, look, I actually have a problem with this. I don't think this is enough in terms of disclosure. You see how it says branded content just in that little thing there? This is just a general rant before we get into the article itself. The esports underdog story, by the way, ESL Face It group are an underdog, right? I just want to say, this branded content bar, this isn't enough disclosure for me, because, yeah, you are being explicit, but the average person doesn't know what branded content means. They think branded content, oh, well, it's like a sponsor or something there. Like, no. No, that's not what this is. This is why it doesn't have a byline attached to it. It's by Rolling Stone. It's by multiple writers or no writer. You'll never know, because it's shameless, shilling, and it's absolute fucking worst. It is an infomercial dressed up as medical advice. It is trash. It is the worst blurring of journalism and marketing ever. This type of shit is garbage. And I think putting branded content by Rolling Stone, I do not think in the minds of the average person that is a suitable disclosure. That there should be a big sign that says there should be an the first paragraph. It should say, this article is paid for by our fucking paymasters for the purposes of promoting their sick fucking machinations. And we're so unprincipled and empty that we're doing it for fucking money. That's what they should have to say by fucking law. But no, branded content. Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. What you're doing here isn't branded content. It sounds soft and fluffy and fun, and maybe some money did change hands. What you're doing is propaganda. That's what you're doing. This article is fucking nauseating. It is nauseating. They talk about ESL as being an underdog and how difficult it was for them, how they were founded 24 fucking years ago, and it's just look at this. Here's how ESL Face It Group went from a scrappy startup to the world's leading esports organization. First of all, there was no ESL Face It Group as a scrappy startup. There was ESL and Face It. I would argue both were at one point scrappy startups, but then ESL became the monopolizers of the industry. They were the grotesque, money-grubbing, fucking scumbags that did everything they could to destroy every other fucking business that interfaced with them in any way and potentially took business from them. They were a scrappy underdog, probably for a grand total of about 2 fucking years before they became the most cutthroat cunts in the fucking space. Guess we're leaving that out the history though, yeah? Look at this. From its earliest days, ESL was predicated on the love of competition. Its founders were gamers looking for a stable, robust structure in which to compete, one that simply didn't exist on a large scale at the time, and for the first few years it arguably still didn't. The origins of ESL are in an organised online league play that built off the back of local area network, LAN, party principles to bring passionate players together for major tournaments. Back in the early 2000s, this meant literally renting servers to host events and tying the community together through its online forums. Was there anyone else doing anything at that time, by the way? Anyone else? Over the years, ESL has hosted many games, but from day one, the organisation has been synonymous with Counter-Strike, considered to be one of the greatest competitive titles of all time. Beginning in 1999 as a mod of Valve's Half-Life, Counter-Strike is scrappy, that word again, at its base. Throughout its numerous iterations over 25 years, the gameplay design has stayed the same. A team of terrorists and a team of counter-terrorists square off in a round-by-round match, with each team utilising their weapons and gear to complete the objective or eliminate the enemy team each round. The desire for serious competition was apparent amongst players in Europe and North America, and early Counter-Strike tournaments began around 2000. There were no 6 or 7 figure prize pools then. Players played for no more than $15,000, with smaller events only putting a keyboard or a graphics card up for a prize. Back then, it wasn't about money or making a career, it was just about winning, with one company in the background, hell-bent on helping players and teams win long-term. Or was it CPL? CPL, right? They were the first. Yeah, they really took it to the next level, then robbed everybody. No? Oh yeah, my bad. It's going to be ESL, isn't it? We're not going to talk about anyone else. Silly. Yeah. Yep, there it is. It's ESL. Helping everyone. Starting the Pro Series in Germany. Right, all the money, talking about mouse sports, gains traction, right? ESL is where everybody can be somebody. Turns out not everybody these days, but anyway, ESL is where everybody can be somebody. More than just a clever tagline, this phrase serves as a multi-purpose ethos that runs throughout all the properties under the ESL Face It Group banner. From rising pro players across various ESL leagues, the estimated 22 million registered users on the Face It platform, and the thousands of IRL attendees of DreamHack events across the globe, the focus on community building is at the forefront of the company's mission to bring players together better. Here's the cosplay. Again, throwing that in. Remember the cosplay? That will not be happening in Riyadh. They regurgitate. I love as well, this is hilarious, the way they gloss over what they did to take over DreamHack. It's like, look, when we merged with DreamHack, merged, mate, merged, you fucking did a hostile takeover. That was only possible because employees at the company, including the owner's own father, stole his fucking stock, essentially. I've told the story before, but just to give you an idea of what had to happen for ESL to get fucking DreamHack, the guy that founded and ran DreamHack Robert Olin, he was in the middle of a particularly messy divorce. And so he didn't want to lose his control, his shares, his equity in a potentially messy divorce proceeding. So he said to his dad, here, if I transfer control of the company over to you, you can give it to me back post-divorce, and then I can't risk losing the company. And his dad went, yeah, no problem. Then the people that Robert Olin had given jobs to within the company that didn't like the fact that Robert Olin didn't work anymore because he would spend events hanging out with people like me and getting shit-faced instead of running around doing nuts and bolts, almost as if he was the owner of the fucking company. They decided to talk to the father and said, what if we just cut him the fuck out? What if we didn't give it him back? And we'll recognize you as a real CEO who runs the company, but you got to do right by us. So his dad went, yeah, actually, even though I'm fucking 80 years old and out of my fucking mind, I'd like to play fucking CEO of this fucking company. So you pieces of shit, you stick the fucking knife in, recognize me as the boss, I'll tell him to get fucked, he gets divorced, he loses his company, then ESL fucking get wind of this. They were sponsored by that fucking Swedish fucking media company. They were bought by that Swedish media company whose name I can't remember off the top of my fucking head at the time, and they decided that it would be really fucking good to fucking buy, MTG, thank you. They decided it would be really good to do this hostile takeover, and there was no better time to do it. So not only did he get fucking divorced, have his dad rob him of his fucking company, the MTG move came in, 60 million euros to buy fucking DreamHack and amalgamate it into the MTG ESL media empire. Only possible because Robert Olin fucking wouldn't have sold, wouldn't have merged with ESL. And he didn't get a fucking penny of it. That, my friends, is just one chapter in the fucking sordid history of fucking esports, man, and how ESL get to be where they are. They are not a fucking friendly, nice, sanitary company. They are pieces of shit. So yeah, when we merged with DreamHack, oh yeah, such a sweet, delicious merger. By the way, all them fucking rat fucks that fucking stuck the knife in a guy who literally pulled them out of obscurity to give them powerful fucking jobs at one of the biggest companies in esports, they're all fucking still there. They're all still there, sucking on the fucking Saudi teat. Just rats to the fucking end. Right, back to this article. Ralph Reichart laid out the limit... I'm not doing the voice anymore. Reichart laid out the limitations of esports organisers to dispel the misconception that being a corporation tips the scales of business in ESL's favour. The power of a tournament organiser, he said, is limited by the power of the players, the publishers, and all of the outside factors that can change on a dime. Esports and its organisers are perpetually weathering a storm to forge a path forward. That's why ESL has yet another ethos, lots of ethoses, ethos, that is so important to the brand, being beyond gameplay. As part of its model, ESL Faceit Group doesn't, and likely never will, develop their own games. That's the role of publishers, and in today's gaming landscape, particularly the role of the players, whose day-to-day interaction with games dictates the updates and trends that will chart the path forward for the industry. For ESL, being beyond gameplay means to focus on the greatest strengths in community building on all levels, platforming the players and bringing fans together. It also means innovating in a constantly changing landscape. Look at this. Here it goes. Part of that innovation, guess what? They play now, right? Part of that innovation is on a personal level with initiatives like GG for All and ESL Impact League, which create a safer, more inclusive space for players and fans of all backgrounds and genders. Another part is technological, using platforms like Faceit, whose client continues to evolve to support more functionality for both players and viewers, and we'll see big updates in the years ahead that align with the philosophies of GG for All. Just mentioning that again for no reason. Lastly, it comes with taking big risks on initiatives that can help continue the growth and mainstream appeal of esports globally. Have to read you this bit. Currently underway, the Esports World Cup is the biggest swing yet for organiser ESL Faceit Group, but is only one of the many upcoming milestones in its continuously evolving story. Late August will see the next IEM Cologne, an esports institution known as the Cathedral of Counter-Strike. Next year, the company approaches its 25th anniversary. Right. By the way, you've missed the point. IM Cologne isn't the cathedral of Counter-Strike. The Lanxess Arena is the cathedral of Counter-Strike, right? If it wasn't in the Lanxess, then it doesn't count. Yeah, like if they moved stadium somewhere, like if they moved to another venue in Cologne, like they went to one of the fucking sex cinemas and had a fucking esports tournament there, it wouldn't count as the cathedral of Counter-Strike, right? You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say, and here we are in the Das Sex Kino, the cathedral of Counter. You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that. The cathedral is the Lanxess, where you have the event. So yeah, just another sickening, fawning, long article retconning the ruthless history of ESL. Fine. I mean, by the way, they're new business partners, right? They love to fucking retcon their own brutal history. So we're all in good company. I mean, you do get the partners, the business partners you deserve, I guess. There was a little funny bit of news. It was in the Financial Times. I saw the headline and I fucking loved it immediately. I was like, oh yeah, well, we're all going to find out, because I do want to make it clear that this isn't going to last forever. Everybody thought the VC money was going to last forever and esports had made it, and it hadn't. It's a fundamentally broken industry run by fucking morons. So no, it hasn't made it. Until we are a revenue independent industry run by competent, intelligent people with experience, we will never, ever, ever make it. But now we're saying we've made it because all these state governments using esports for propaganda purposes and underwriting us. And we use the word sustainable, unironically, to describe that situation. And obviously that's not sustainable, because it's only sustainable in the sense that as long as the governments want to do it, sure, but they can change on a dime. And so I read the Financial Times every now and then. Oh yes, look at that, money. Makes me feel important. And I saw this. Saudi wealth fund brings era of easy money to an end. Oh, what's that? But we've signed up for years. Okay, well, for much of the past decade, Saudi Arabia has been a major draw for deal makers, bankers, and asset managers sinking capital as its ambitious sovereign wealth fund went on a multi-billion-dollar global spending spree. But as the kingdom reassesses its priorities and the $925 billion public investment fund shifts focus to huge domestic commitments, the era of Saudi Arabia being perceived as a source of easy money is drawing to a close. It is ending, said a senior Dubai-based investment banker. People are realizing it. Fund managers, bankers, and companies that sought to raise capital in the kingdom are already feeling the effects of the shift. Money managers say Saudi officials have put many more conditions on mandates, often demanding the hiring of local employees. Stop me if you've heard this one before. And at least some use of funding for investment in domestic companies and projects. Oh, all of that shit that Qadhi is demanding. Oh, interesting. Others are being told that for Riyadh to commit new funds, it wants to see reinvestment. Oh, there's that other thing as well. Reinvestment in the kingdom, bankers said. It's becoming more of a theme, an insider at the Wealth Fund explained. BlackRock, never heard of them. Never heard of them. Don't Google BlackRock Trump assassination attempt. Please, I'm kidding about that. Don't Google it. BlackRock, the US asset manager, did secure $5 billion from the PIF to anchor a new investment firm in Riyadh, which it announced in April, but its mandate is focused primarily on developing the kingdom's capital markets. The PIF said in a statement to the Financial Times that it had a robust investment process, allowing it to choose partners and advisors who are best suited for each mandate we pursue. Investments made by the PIF go through a process of multiple committees and are focused on its key sectors in accordance with the fund's mandate and strategy. Companies are also no longer beating a path to Riyadh's door in the hunt for cash at the pace they once were. Client interest has reduced materially, partly because we are screening more carefully, partly because there's not been a tremendous amount of success from these efforts and roadshows, said the Dubai-based banker. People realize it's not just about showing up and expecting a check. It is a marked contrast to the early years of the PIF's dramatic transformation from a sleeping state holding company with about 150 billion in assets under management in 2015 into one of the world's most active and ambitious sovereign funds. The overhaul was driven by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who was having dinner with Faker when he came up with the idea. He took over as the fund's chair in 2015, giving it the task of steering Riyadh's trillion-dollar plans to diversify the economy and project the kingdom onto the global stage. As it sought to rapidly build up its foreign exposure from virtually zero to its target of 24% of its portfolio, it made waves with a string of high-profile deals, including pumping $45 billion into SoftBank's Vision Fund in 2016 and $20 billion into a Blackstone infrastructure fund the following year. Anyway, it goes on and on, lists a bunch of the other stuff, and then we get down to this part. The PIF insider said the fund was focusing more on strategic investments in contrast to its early years. There is a pause in terms of spending. Definitely global investments are not going to be there in a major way over the next 2 to 3 years, said a Saudi executive. There would be exceptions, he explained, particularly in areas deemed to add value to the kingdom, such as manufacturing, artificial intelligence, and technology. Now, I can't help but notice they've left esports off that list. So, I'm not saying that a lot of this fucking stuff could be fucking pie in the sky and it's here today and gone to fucking tomorrow and it might not even be there in 2-3 years, let alone the 5 or the 7 that we're talking about. But I know a little bit about esports, and I will tell you, I don't think it's going to take long for Saudi Arabia to realize it is fucking worthless. I really don't think so. They might be ruthless motherfuckers, and they might hold a bunch of opinions that I think are unconscionable, but I have a feeling they know a bit about business, and I think they're smart people, and I think they're going to figure it out. I think they're going to figure out, wait a minute, keep in mind, that fucking shit Monopoly Go game fucking is like already doing gangbusters, is making a fucking fortune. It's like, you can't, any old mobile slop, you dickheads are out there. Whee! Fucking, I don't want to wait 2 hours to have another game. I'll just buy some gems. It's only $5. Who cares? You make all this fucking gacha game garbage. I mean, it's popular for a reason, right? I've even done it. I was on that Clash Royale shit. I was in a Clash Royale clan with Anders and Moses. So, you know, we've done it. We've all done it. But I don't think it's going to take them long to fucking figure out this is garbage. This makes no money. It doesn't further our cultural needs. The average esports fan doesn't care about anything except shooty bang bang or shitty wizards, or they what is popular? What is popular? Where is drama? Do I have to pay to watch drama, popular drama? I am TSM Baylife, TSM bad now. I am CLG, not Baylife. Like they're just a fucking empty vessel, just floating across the internet. FaZe up. I am FaZe forever. FaZe did something fucked up. Now I am 100 Thieves. Nade shot best friend. It's like they are fucking empty. They don't. The average esports fan offers nothing. They pay for nothing. They care about nothing. And we will never know how big the actual demographic of real esports fans that really care and would pay. We'll never know who it is, because the same motherfuckers that are grifting and finessing the Saudis right now, they don't want us to count. They don't want us to count that number. They don't want to roll the dice on a pay-per-view event. They don't want to take the inventory. That would be bad for their business. Because you know what their business is? Their business isn't selling esports. Their business is selling lies. Their business is selling bullshit fugazi numbers to whichever sugar daddy is going to get fucking grifted this week. And this week, it's Saudi. I mean, say what you will about the Saudi Arabian state. I do think they've been finessed by these esports hustlers. 100%. Yes, Saudi are turning them into useful idiots to proselytize and obfuscate their human rights violations, but it is a matter of time before they realize that is the game, that these guys have sold them fake numbers, lies, and the businesses they want them to build in Qadiyah, wicked. Build them. Great. But what? You've got to take 6 Saudi executives. Okay, we will. Those 6 Saudi executives are going to be running failing businesses. And so what have they earned? What have they got? What have they got out of it? And the more and more Saudi executives start working at these companies, the more and more the real numbers are going to get fed back to the fucking mothership. And the mothership is going to say, this planet is fucked. Brexit time. I'm sure Saudi Arabian executives would use Brexit as that analogy. So I find that interesting. And it is something to think about. And it is something to watch. And then to wrap up the great Saudi Arabian roundup, something else to watch, apparently, and listen, you must already be watching it, is the fucking esports awards. The esports awards. I thought I'd have a little look. I'm trying not to promote any Saudi Arabian slop on my timeline. I don't want to give them my click, but it's hard because I have to talk about this stuff. So I kind of have to, it's kind of, I don't want to see it. I'm like the Penguin in Batman. Why are you showing me this? Right, but I have to do it, right, for just to spare you the click in many ways. So I thought I'd have a look as to what was going on. And when I looked, which is before I went live, 4 hours ago now, I clicked on the Esports Awards stream, which has been heavily promoted on Twitter. It was the top live on X recommendation for me. And it had said, and it had been live out in 1 hour, it claims to have been seen by over 999,000 people in an hour. I mean, okay, there's been a bunch of lawsuits. And there's been a bunch of lawsuits about social media and the veracity of their viewing numbers. And Facebook got with this because what Facebook were doing was they said a view was if you were on your Facebook feed and somebody had posted a video or an ad was there or whatever the fuck it was, and you scrolled past it, even though you to say you passively engaged with it is overselling it. If you scrolled past it, you were a view. And then that's Facebook going out to advertisers and companies and saying, look at the views we can get you. Billions. And they're going, what the fuck? That's crazy. But that's what they were doing. And then they had to disclose via a number of lawsuits where these companies were paying all this money and they weren't getting anywhere near like the returns they thought they should. Like, if we're getting all of these views, which Facebook are telling us we're getting, and our internal metricing using the Facebook thing is done, where's the click-through? Well, why aren't people buying anything? Even at our lowest projections, X amount of people should be seeing our ad and buying our product. And then Facebook had to admit that was their method of doing things in several high-profile lawsuits, and they got took to the fucking cleaners. Now, if there's one thing I do know, it's that Elon Musk is an honest, compassionate man that would never misrepresent anything. His platform stands for honesty, truth, integrity, free and fair exchanges of ideas, even ideas that you don't want to hear. And so I can't believe for a second that these numbers are massaged in some way. Not on Elon Musk's platform, X.com. Just wouldn't happen. But by the end, incredibly, it's, well, somebody messaged me to say it had gone up to 3 million. I think it's actually past that. Let me just see. 3.8 million people. 3.8 million people. Now, I had people going into this live, and they were saying, like, there's no interaction live in the chat, like, none. Like, it is dead. It's not even like it was over on Twitch. And this is a recurring theme. Yeah, the tweet has 12 million views as well. Yeah, good spot, most of it. These numbers are fucking pie in the sky. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm supposed to believe that 12 million people have engaged with this tweet, right, which has 172 reposts and 3,000 likes. And I'm also supposed to believe that close to 4 million people engaged with the stream, clicked on the esports awards to watch the esports awards. Nah. Nah. Because on Twitch, it was getting 16k, and that's botted to shit. And I know it's botted to shit. I'm not even saying the esports awards guys are doing it, but they could be. But I mean, like, the stream, the fucking, all the messages are just people, like, they're talking about someone else, and it'll be like, Ibai, we love Ibai. And you're like, Ribeye isn't even on. So why are they spamming that endlessly? And that's just how that works. And that's how it's always worked. It's been like that pretty much since it rebooted. But it's got really embarrassing and embarrassingly obvious the last few years. But it's not just the esports awards. As I said, the whole esports World Cup thing has had this, like, almost bizarre, as I said, artificiality to it. Like, for contrast, at the same time I clicked on it to see how many people were watching it, and it was 999,000. I had a look at the YouTube stream, and the number on YouTube, a little bit different, 275. Now, bit of a discrepancy, so maybe, you know, that's just one of those things. You know, who knows? But as I said, there's this strange artificiality about all the numbers to do with anything to do with Riyadh and the World Cup in general. Like, if you go and you look over on the YouTube channel, this also doesn't strike me as being particularly genuine either. So this is the Esports World Cup YouTube channel, which has, you know, 200. Like, you can look at some of the numbers. Some of these videos have about, like, 10 comments. Look at that, 28 million views for the video, 400 clubs at the starting line. A 30-second video promoting the start of the Esports World Cup. 28 million, guys. Like, think about how big that is. Think about how, like, that's like a fucking Mr. Beast video. FIFA Finals, 4.6 million views. $15 million prize pool, 20 teams, 100 players, but only one trophy. 4 million views. You've been waiting for it. Let's welcome the Esports World Cup. 2.6 million views. Like, it's bullshit. Like, I am telling you, those numbers are not fucking real. They've really like, there's probably an executive somewhere who are like, listen, we need this for the Saudi Arabian state, so we have to make these numbers look big, so we're going to employ every nefarious tactic to artificially massage the numbers, from embeds to view bots to, you know, whatever, to using fake state accounts, right? But those numbers aren't believable. Like, 500,000, 1 mil. Like, okay, I'd still be skeptical, but that 28 mil is fucking insane. There's no fucking way. And where's the engagement? And where's the believable interactivity? Where's all the posts? I see posts about this on fucking LinkedIn, and the occasional mockery on Twitter, or one of the really bad tweets, some of which I've highlighted on this fucking stream. Nobody is sharing a 30-second hype video either. Like, who's doing that? Who's doing that? Who's going, bros? You never guess what the Esports World Cup have done. They've released a 30-second hype video, much like the other 30-second hype videos that say, it's starting, they drive now. They're at the starting line, and they're about to start driving now, and they're driving now. Who shares that? I bet if I went through the comments, I bet they would all be... Even someone in the chat said there's only 235 comments on a video. Right? I have videos with 235 comments on, most of them saying, kill yourself, you fat bastard. But I still get 235 comments. My videos get like 40,000 views, right? Like on a good day, right? So how could I have 28 million views and only 235 comments? That doesn't fucking make any sense, guys. Like, it's not even... You lock the comments, at least. Lock the comments. Like, get some plausible deniability. And I bet those comments aren't even real. I bet those comments aren't real. Let's see. Oh, don't show me. Why are you showing me this? Sir Action Slacks is there. I love Sir Action Slacks, and he's doing a video. Right. So it's up to 29 mil now. I am aware how risky it is to stream YouTube comments. Right. Is that like Thai or Malay or Singaporean? Hi, Richard, you fucking rat. All right, you in the internet, dickhead. How the fuck have you done that? You didn't even know I was going to look. Yeah, well played, dickhead, well played. What is this? What are these comments, bro? Sir, my goal is to become an esports player. Can you help me? Like, that's not real, right? Like, a person hasn't really typed that. Hello, Bang Billy. I guess there's a streamer out there called Bang Billy similarly breaking down this video. God Knob. God Knob. What the fuck is God Knob? Like, look, these aren't, this isn't language, right? Like, these are just random letters, yeah? These are just random letters, right? That's not a word in, like, it could be Finnish, I suppose. That's not a word, is it? Like, look at this. Look at this shit. It's so obvious. Like, fucking, come on. Come on. For 29 million guys, like, you gotta fucking dial it down. Like, you have to. It's too fucking transparent, man. This is too crazy. Driving now. Well, then. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They're not even... It's emotes and emojis. It's worse than I thought. I mean, yeah, also, only 90k likes. Yeah. It's got all the hallmarks of being botted. It's so fucking ridiculous, like. But yeah, there's this fucked up artificiality with all of their shit, man. Everyone can see. It's garbage. It's bullshit. It's fake. God knob. Yeah, new nickname for me, obviously. But... What, boys? You gotta dial this down. Like, everyone can see through this. It's like, it's what I mean. They're so shameless. They're just doing this. They think everyone in esports is fucking dumb. They think the Saudis are dumb. They think the sponsors are dumb. The investors are dumb. None of this is real. None of this is real. So I don't know. Anyway, that was the roundup in the shameless world of Shilling for Saudi. They bot now.